Hello everyone and welcome to this video. We're going to look at the radio interface on the Basecamp today. We're going to look at how to set it up, and I'm going to talk about some of the features, but we're going to start with what's in it, the buttons, the LEDs, and all that stuff. So let's get started right away. So the radio interface is right here. You will see 5-pin connectors, so there are 5 in this one because it's a 5 radio interop module. There's also a 6th one at the very end. That's to connect the handset that I have right here in my hands to talk to all the people in the connections. You have also talk groups, so you have toggle switches that are right next to every 5-pin connector. In this unit we have 2 different talk groups, so you can either be on talk group number 1, and it's very clearly indicated here on the side of the box. Talk group number 1 is up, talk group number 2 is completely down, and if you put it right in the middle, you're disconnected. Okay, so you are not talking or transmitting or receiving anything through the radio interop module. Okay, so I'm going to put everything on channel 1. There is, of course, for the handset switch, there's also a talk group 1, 2. There's a toggle switch to talk to talk group number 1, talk group number 2. Okay. There's also one here for the telephone. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but you can transfer calls to talk groups. Okay. So we're going to start with the connection. Before you connect anything or any radio, I have UHF and VHF here. What you need to do is make sure that the radios actually work between them before connecting them to the Basecamp. So here I have 2 UHF radios that I have plugged in. Those 2 radios, just to make sure, you will take the volume, okay, and from the off position you will turn the volume fully clockwise, okay, and then turn it back fully counterclockwise. This way you're going to know where the midway point is, and you're going to take the radio back to the midway point. Okay, so I'm going to take those 2 radios to the midway point, okay, which they are, and test them. Okay, radio test 1, 2. Okay, so this is working. Radio test 1, 2. Alright, so those 2 radios are properly working together. So the second thing I will do now is take one of those radios and connect them to the radio interface and leave the secondary radio aside. Okay, I have a cradle here so that I hold the radio better for the demo. If you have a cradle, it's fine. Please make sure that you're not connecting the cradle to the power line and recharging the battery, because this will induce a little bit of noise on the line. So it's better if you have fully charged batteries, and you better have replacement batteries that are already fully charged than to have a cradle and charge the battery as you're doing an exercise or as you're doing a live event. Okay, so I have one of my cables here that I will plug. Whoops, wrong one. Here you go. So we'll plug this here. Okay. I will put this radio in the interface number 5, and make sure on the 5-pin connectors there's a keyway. Make sure you properly align the keyway and don't force it. It's always better. It slides in very easily. You're going to see a little metallic screw on the connector, and you will properly align it a little bit on the right hand side, slide it in, and then turn on the right hand side to secure it. Okay, if you're going to take it off, do the opposite, turn on the left hand side, not too hard until it comes loose, and you're going to be able to disconnect it very easily. Okay, so easy in, easy out. I'm on talk group number 1. I will put the radio here. So now on this radio you will turn it fully counterclockwise, not in the off position, in the on position, but fully counterclockwise, and we're going to start the radio test. There's an LED light that is right next to every interface connector, okay? And we're going to do a radio test until that LED light that's next to number 5, because we're connected on connector number 5, until the LED starts flashing. When it does, it's already good, and internally the radio interface will auto-adjust the volumes with everything else. Okay, so let's do it once. Now it's in the fully counterclockwise position on the radio connected to the interface. So let's try and do the test. Radio test 1, 2. Okay, just a little bit. Radio test 1, 2. Okay. Radio test 1, 2. Again. Radio test 1, 2. And now we're going to see the light flickering. So the light, now it's ready, the volume is already good, and again, the radio interface will auto-adjust the volume. This procedure, you do it with the first radios that you will plug in, and subsequently you will do that same scenario with every type of different radios that you will plug into the radio interface. Once you've done that, I'm going to take my handset, so of course the operator of the radio interface can connect to either toggle group number 1, toggle group number 2, or also be disconnected. And once I have this connected, I will do a radio test with my radios that are connected and see that everything is working fine. So let's go ahead and try it. Radio test 1, 2. Okay. So now we can hear clearly on the radios that the handset is transmitting, okay, or that it's the voice is actually going through. And I'm going to do the same thing with the radio to the interface and through to the handset. Radio test 1, 2. Now you might not hear it on the video because we don't have a speaker, but I can clearly hear it within the handset here that the voice is going through. So all of that is working. So now that we've seen how to connect the radios, just a quick word, don't connect all the radios at once. If there are 2 radios not properly working, you're not going to know which one's which. So by doing it in sequence, one at a time, so UHF first and then VHF second and whatever else that you have, you're going to be able to determine pretty quickly if there are radios that are not properly working. Okay? So now, the telephone system to the radio interface, okay? I have my operator's handset here. My extension is 3001. My radio system, I have plugged it into extension 2010. Please make sure on your demo, you usually have a RJ11 cable that sticks out from inside of the box. That's usually where we connect the radio interface. And there's also an extension number, so you're going to be able to see it very quickly. So now what we're going to do to test it is we're going to dial 2010. Now since it's telephone to radios, what you want to do is dial a number and mute your line, because otherwise it's not a push to talk and you don't want to have all that noise going into the radio signal. So this is what we're going to do. 2010. I'm going to do a test, and then I'm going to mute my line. Radio test 1, 2. Now that I've muted my line, I removed all the possible noise that I could put in the radio interfaces. So now I can talk, and I can receive communication from toggle group number 1, since I'm connected with my radio interface to toggle group number 1 with my telephone system. Now that this is working, you have the radio set up, you have the telephone system set up. I can hang up now. Okay. Now that you have the telephone set up, you have the interface set up with the different types of radios, and you have internet working. You're ready to do a demo, do a trade show, or do a demonstration live to a customer. Okay? So that's the radio interface module. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. Give us a call, drop an email, and it'll be our pleasure to help you out. Thank you.